Hello everyone, welcome to another session on Python for Data Science. The first library we are going to learn is NumPy. NumPy stands for Numerical Python and is used for doing different numerical operations in Python. NumPy is a general purpose array processing package. It provides a high performance multidimensional array object and tools for working with these arrays. It is a fundamental package for scientific computing with Python. Besides its obvious scientific uses, NumPy can also be used as an efficient multidimensional container of generic data. Now we will move on to the coding part of NumPy. We are going to do the coding in Jupyter Notebook. So I have opened a new Jupyter Notebook and I have given this name to it. First, we are going to create two lists. You have already learned to create lists in your previous sessions, don't you? I'm creating list 1 with these values and list 2 with these values, and I'm executing this. Now I need to add the values in list 1 and list 2. For that I'm using the simple formula list 1 plus list 2. Let's see what happens. What happened here is the values in list 2 got concatenated towards the end of list 1. Instead of giving us the sum, the two lists got concatenated. In order to get the sum of values, what we have to do is that we have to create a for loop. I hope you all remember the syntax of a for loop. I'm creating a for loop for taking the values of list 1 and 2. So what this for loop will do is it will take the values in list 1 to I and list 2 to j, and then I want to print the values of I and j. If I execute this, it will print the sum of values, but this will only print the sum. We have not stored it anywhere. So in order to store it, I am creating an empty list, list 3, and I am again copying this for loop, and then what I am going to do is I am going to append each sum value to list 3. For that I am using this code list3 dot append I plus j. This will add each I plus j value to list 3, and I am executing this, and if I check list 3, it will have the addition values of list 1 and list 2. This is a bit difficult, right? In order to get the sum of values in two lists, we have to write these many codes. To overcome these difficulties that we face during different numerical operations, we have a library in Python to do these arithmetical operations in a much easier way, and that library is called NumPy. As rightly mentioned before, NumPy stands for Numerical Python. So we will now move to NumPy. I am just giving a heading here, NumPy. We will import NumPy as NP. The common notation for NumPy is NP. Wherever you find NP, you can understand that it is a NumPy operation. This reduces the effort of typing NumPy everywhere you need. Now we have imported NumPy. NumPy has attributes called arrays in it. Arrays can overcome the limitations of lists and can also do more operations than list. Now we are converting the list 1 into an array. For that I am writing this code. So this code will convert list 1 to array, and it will print this. We have converted list 1 into an array, but it is not stored anywhere. We are going to store it into a variable called arr1. If we display arr1, you can see that it is an array with the values of list 1. Similarly, we are converting list 2 also into an array. List 2 is also converted into an array now. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to add up these two arrays, and I am going to store the sum of values into a new variable sum1, and I am going to add these two arrays. If you display the sum variable, you will get the sum values. So this is much easier, right? And when we are dealing with big codes, we do not remember which all are the variables that we have already used. So here we have used list1, list2, array1, array2, sum1. These many variables we have already used. So when we deal with big codes, we don't remember which all the variables we have used. In Spider, we can see it in the variable explorer, whereas in Jupyter you don't have variable explorer. So to know which all variables we have used, we have the code %WHOS. This will list all the variables that you have used and its data types and the number of values present in it. Next, we are going to create a variable data2, which is a list of lists. I hope you all remember how we created a list of lists. So data2, in order to create a list of lists, we need two brackets. And now I am going to enter the values. This is the first list, and this is the second list. Now we are going to convert this into an array. So I am using the variable arr3, and I am converting data2 into an array. When we display arr3, we can see that it is printed in a particular format. It is printed in this way. This is because our array is a two-dimensional array. Now, to check the dimension of array, we have a keyword which is ndim. So if we check arr3.ndim, it will give the output as 2, which means our array3 is a two-dimensional array. Next is the data type of a function. To check the data type of an array, we have the keyword dtype. If we check arr3.dtype, it will show us that it is an integer array. Shape of an array means the number of rows and columns present in the array. To get the shape of the array, we have the keyword shape. So arr3.shape will give you the shape of the array. So arr3 has 2 rows and 4 columns. Now if we want to change the data type of an array, we can specify it initially when we are declaring the array. For example, I am declaring arr4 np.array of, I am using data2 as my data, and I am specifying that the data type should be float. Now if we check arr, we can see that a decimal point is added to each value in arr4, and if we check for its data type, we can see that it is a floating point data. Now we are creating one more array, arr5, with these values. I've created array5. If you display arr5, you can see it like this. Now if we check for the data type, or even you can see the data type here, it is given as U1. U1 stands for Unicode or string data type. So any value that is given inside a single or a double quote will be taken as string data type. This can also be converted into an integer similarly like we have done before. So I am creating another array ARR 6 np dot and now if I check ARR 6, it is an array 1 2 3 5. You can see that quotes is gone, single quotes is no more. And if we check for the data type, you can see it is converted into an integer. Now I am creating a list, and I hope you all remember range function. Can you guess what this range function will give you? Yes, it will print continuous values from 0 to 6. It will print the 7 values from 0 to 6. This is in list. Similarly, in NumPy we have a range function to print continuous values, which is np.range. This will give the same values like range. So in list we have range, in NumPy we have arrange. Now I am creating another array, array 7, and I am taking the values using arrange function. Can you guess what will be the output of this? Yes, it will be the values from 4 to 19, those 20 values. We can specify one more value inside this bracket, which is the step. So I will create again one more array. And I am giving the step as 2. If we give the step value as 2, then the values get incremented by 2. Sorry, I did not give 2 here. I am executing this again. So now you can see the values got incremented by 2. Now if we give the step value as 3, the values will get incremented by 3. Next we will try the reshape function. So I am creating another array, array 9, and I am reshaping array 8, which is the array which we just created, into another shape. I will do it into a 4 by 2 array. So now you can see the array just got reshaped into a 4 row 2 column shape. We can again reshape it in another format. So ARR10 is equal to ARR8 dot reshape of, you can do it in 4 by 2 also. Now it has 2 rows and 4 columns. You can reshape it in any way you want. The only condition that you should satisfy is the product of these two should be the number of elements in the array. Any number of reshaping you can do satisfying this condition. Next we are going to discuss about the linspace function. I will create another array, and I am using the linspace keyword 1, 30, 5. Now if we print ARR11, you can see it is printing like this. Linspace is the keyword used to split the value specified into equal intervals. Here we are giving the values from 1 to 30, and we want to split it into 5 equal intervals. So in the output we can see that 1 to 30 is converted into 5 equal intervals. So this is 1 to 8.25, 8.25 to 15.5, and so on. We will create one more array. In this, we are converting the values from 1 to 12 into 4 equal intervals. This can be called as converting the given interval into different fractions. With this, we conclude the first part of NumPy video. Thank you for watching.